Hello everyone, thank you for being here. Today we have part 3 in our at-home workout series. All of these exercises will be body weight only. We're going to hit every muscle in our legs, the quad, the hamstring, the glute, even the calves. They will have progressions and regressions if they are too challenging or too easy for you to accomplish. To ensure maximum intensity, we're going to be taking every set to failure. I will tell you a recommended number of sets to do, but because we're doing all body weight stuff, we can really take our sets to failure and be safe with it. So we're going to take advantage of that and we're going to be maximally intense.
Our first movement is a single leg squat. This is a quad dominant movement and we're going to do 3 sets. I have a few different versions for you to try out, so if one doesn't feel good, you may try another one. This first movement is popularized by knees over toes guy. It's the Patrick step up. It involves your knees going over your toes quite significantly. So if it's uncomfortable, you may try a different variation that I will be showing you in the coming moments. As you see here, if you turn this around and face sideways, you don't have to avoid the stair by leaning forward. You can just go straight down. This might be more comfortable for your knees. This variation may be especially useful if you have limited ankle mobility like I do. My favorite variation is the single leg chair squat. This is similar to a pistol squat, but it is a little bit easier on the knees, and that's why I prefer it. If you can do pistol squats, those are a great movement to try out as well. For any of these single leg squat variations, you want to focus on controlling the weight down, because it's a great way to drive hypertrophy while limiting fatigue and wear and tear on your joints. If this movement is too difficult for you, you may do it on 2 legs instead of 1, essentially cutting the load in half. You do not have to do each of these variations. You may try one out. If you like it, you may stick with that, or you can give them all a try and determine which one works best for you. Our next movement is a complete leg builder. It is the Bulgarian split squat or the rear foot elevated split squat, whatever you want to call it. It's going to hit the glutes, the hamstrings, and the quads quite nicely. If you'd like to bias your quads for this movement, place your lead leg closer to the chair. If you'd like to bias this movement towards your glutes, you may place your lead leg further away from the chair. For each of these movements, try and sink as deep as you are comfortable with, as getting a deep stretch is advantageous to the most muscle growth possible. You may lean forward slightly on this movement. This will stretch the glutes and the hamstrings a little bit more and potentially bias them for more growth. For this movement, you may hold weights to make it more challenging, or you can go slower on the eccentric portion and pause at the bottom to make it more difficult. As this is our primary compound movement, we're going to do 4 sets of this. Our next movement is a great hamstring and glute builder. It's a movement that you probably haven't seen because I came up with it on my own. It is called the ball hamstring curl. You're going to lay on the ground with the ball beneath around the middle of your calf. And then after laying down and setting the ball, you're going to hit a slight hip thrust and hold that. That way you give your hamstrings room to work to pull the ball towards the middle of your body. This movement requires a ton of balance and stability, making it extremely functional and injury preventative. Always remember to train your leg curls, because if you develop very strong quads, but you don't develop strong hamstrings to withstand the force, you are proning yourself to a knee injury. I suggest using a yoga ball, but a basketball is all I had. We're going to do 3 sets of this movement. Next, we have our only calf movement, and it's going to be a simple deficit calf raise. We're using a deficit to get the biggest stretch possible to grow the most muscle possible. To make this movement as hard as we can with body weight, we're going to use 1 foot instead of 2, thereby doubling the load that our muscle is under. Because this is the only calf exercise we are doing, and the calves are able to withstand a lot more volume than other muscles, we are going to do 4 sets. A great aspect of this workout is that it is mostly single leg work, which will eliminate most of the muscle imbalances from the right and left side. Our last movement is a single leg hip thrust. We are doing single leg to make it as hard as we can using only our body weight. Place your shoulder blades on the chair and drive your hips to the sky. If this hip thrust variation is too easy, you may invert it and put your shoulder blades on the ground and place your foot on a stair to make your body weight feel heavier as you do the hip thrust. We are going to do 3 sets of single leg hip thrusts. Now that we've hit each of the muscles in our leg, we are going to burn out with a wall sit. You're going to wall sit at 90 degrees for as long as you can, and after you fail at 90 degrees, you're going to rise up into about 130-ish degrees to make it a little bit easier as a drop set. The wall sit is also a great movement to build up your tendons and ligaments in your legs, bulletproofing you from injury.
I'm putting this series together so that nobody has an excuse as to why they can't work out or to why they can't improve. There is always a way, as long as you're willing to put in the time and the effort. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you did. Let me know what changes you made. Stay motivated. Stay positive. I'll see you next week.